God, and mirror clip.
It's not good.
Well, at this point, it shouldn't even take that. It shouldn't even take
What?
time to explain anything at this point. It shouldn't even require that. Right now, black folks are the gift of the game. If they're not walking in the door discussing a black agenda, we're going to be hit the game. The problem is black people in America are afraid to advocate for their own interests, up to including afraid of the sideline. Now, we have been changing that over the course of the last 2 years. Right now, it's gotten louder than it's ever gotten. But, like I said, what you had is the situation of some folks doing some really boneheaded actions here in the last election, but these are first voters as well. These are the last vestiges of the hard-headed Negroes holding on to white asses. Let's just be very, very clear. The church crowd, the sorority crowd, the HBCU crowd, the political puppet crowd, both the one-issue voter crowds, those folks right there, the ADHD wing of the black electorate, the folks who are not thinking strategically, the folks who are not all in. This is really the last desperate gasp of those ignorances. And now that the election's over, now the pain really begins because all the expectations that they laid, all the expectations that they made, that's what got under their skin about that. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. You get called with Mary Code 757. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Jason. This is Sloan speaking to you from Chesapeake, Virginia. How are you?
Sloan from Chesapeake, Virginia. What's on your mind?
Well, a couple of observations. One, I consider Biden Trump 1.5, but I do have a question for you. The Biden and the Democrats did something very interesting. They sort of jettisoned Simone Sanders from his phase onto Kamala Harris. What do you think about that move?
That went real bad. It was exactly what I said it was going to be. It went real bad for her. Simone Sanders thought there was going to be a White House press secretary position or something. It went real bad for her. It went real bad for her. All the Negroes, all the media mammies, all their butt kissers, I mean, they thought they were all going to get promotions. They all thought they were going to get promotions. They all thought to themselves, boy, we're going to be all right here. Little old Simone Sanders didn't understand, baby, she's telling herself that this is going to be a leg up. No, it isn't. But what's the next step going to be? You've already reached the next step. There is no next step. Where's my career going? It's already there. It's not on its way. It's already there. No need to ask where it's going. You've already reached your final destination. Ain't that a hell of a thing? Her career is peaked right before he really got started. Caller from area code 240. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Okay, this is Rose holding a sermon. Caller from 646. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller from 646. You're on live.
Hello?
Yes, put down the bass pipe. You're on. Yes, if you'll actually talk, yes, you can be heard.
Yeah, Black Authority. First of all, let me just say I appreciate you for. This is Luke from Harlem. I appreciate you for doing what you do and preaching this, having the black media out there and out loud. And you're saying a lot of things that are only said in whispers nowadays. And I just want to say, listen, man, everything that you're saying, and I know you disagree with the ADOS community, and I'm not sure how much you agree with Tariq Nasheed, but everything that's being said by the black media now is coming to fruition. And I wonder what it is that it's going to take for all black people to really come into alliance with this idea that black people have to unite with what's happening right now. Let me ask you this question. There's been this idea by Charles Blow, he just released a book recently saying, black people
okay, brother. Well, okay, let's just get to our question here. You're kind of rumbling on like Blur from Transformers. So, what exactly is the question you want to ask?
Do you think that black people should migrate down south to form a
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We get these questions come up periodically and whatnot from folks who are just thinking about it. It doesn't matter. We don't need to, quote, get all black people together. That's a fantasy. You're never going to get all of anybody together. There's never going to be this national black convention where we get everybody together. And furthermore, we don't want there to be. Listen to me very carefully. I will say this one more time for all the people listening to me right now. You're never going to get everybody together in some national black convention. And furthermore, you don't want to do that. And the reason that you don't want to do that is because if you were able to do something like that, you're also going to be bringing your dead wenches, your coons, your sports fanatics, your old washed up retired Negroes driving their Cadillacs, the old heifers trying to drive their BMWs. That is not what you want. They will show up and then it will just descend into Negroes talking about their religion. We don't need a situation where all black folk get together and then we start arguing about religion and arguing about politics and arguing about what's political party. You're invariably going to have some black folks saying we can't do it without white folk. We have to have a minority coalition because we can't do it on our own.
But black, what if there's no argument about it?
Okay, there's no what if. That's not a what if. That's an even worse fantasy. If you try that, that is not the best thing to happen. If you try to quote get everybody together, we need individuals like yourself.
Not everybody.
Okay.
Some people will be left
Sir.
behind. I'm with you.
Okay, Luke, I'll try this one time here. Why don't you just be quiet?
You're on top of the roof in a decomp
I'm
house.
explaining it to you. You're acting as if there's some difference about this I don't know. You're pretending as if there is. I'm the one who taught you. How are you going to sit here and educate me?
No, I'm not educating you, but I'm asking. When you say there'll be an argument,
sir,
I'm saying
I am addressing your statement. Just because you didn't think about it in these dimensions doesn't mean that you're correct. If you attempt to get a large number of black people together, forget even having a fantasy to ask them all. Even if you attempt to get a large group together, you are invariably going to enter into the same problem. This is what happens when individuals who are not used to leading start trying to think these things over. They think in overly simplistic terms of things that cannot happen. As I said to a caller last night, do you understand how monumentally difficult it is to get just 20 black people to agree 100% on the same thing? Just 20, much less a million. Furthermore, that's not even what we want. What we want is a leadership class. We need a few individuals who've got all of it, and then everyone else can fall in line behind this class of people. I call it a leadership class. It's not talented 10th, but in other groups, they don't have one individual. They have an economy. And that economy, the individuals who lead the economy, are the de facto leaders of the society. Black society is lacking that. Because you see, you develop certain characteristics and certain character traits and skill sets when you become an entrepreneur. Develop certain character traits and skill sets to translate into other areas. So we don't need to get some national convention. We don't need to get all black people together in one place so we can get their heads straight. There's too many black folk who they need therapists. We don't need to get a bunch of black folk together. It'll just be a bunch of noise. We don't even need to get most of them together. What we need is an elite group who's on top of their game. The world is not led by the 90%. Hell, the world's not led by the 95%. The world is led by a few percentages. Okay, everybody tonight is trying to talk over the host, and that will never end well. Let's be very clear.
When you talk about this elite class, I hear you. I was going to ask, and thank you for answering about like the difference between the talented class. So, with what you're saying about black people not being able to congregate and live in one place, and you know, we fully talked about that too. So, what makes you think that when it comes to having that elite black class, the leadership class, I absolutely agree with you. Not necessarily one black messiah. That black people behind an elite class, who will sort of lead them.
Caller from area code 516. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Appreciate it, Brother Black. This is John calling from Charlotte, North Carolina.
John from Charlotte.
Just a quick thing, man. I watched the part of the HR 40 this week? Yeah, it was this week. I was shocked by the fact that they had such support of the guys on there talking stupid, but the fact that so many black people don't even that kind of like, you know, yeah.
Oh man, I'm
like, you guys, in regards to something that actually affects nobody knows what the hell's going on.
Yes, this is a large-scale education effort. No doubt about it. But then again, you have to understand, we live in a society that indoctrinates people all the time. Why do you think there is a Department of Education? Which in reality, you and I both know should be relabeled the Department of Miseducation. You have a...
Oh man, what are you doing?
Well, what's the purpose of your meeting?
Get out the truck.
It's supposed to be to inform you. So this is supposed to be a Department of Information. You and I both know properly labeled the Department of Misinformation. So when you understand that's happening, you are miseducated, misinformed all the time. There needs to be a proper education apparatus. And, you know, with our meager resources, and I'm just a guy, understand we're a volunteer army here. I could be doing a bunch of other things. I'm not doing that. Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Claude Anderson, the list goes on and on. We could all have done a bunch of other different things. We've chosen to do this right here because there's nobody else doing it. The society itself understands the value of miseducating people. So, yes, we're having to basic and understand in your school system right now. How old are you?
I'm 31. Okay. I actually work in education, man. I coach college ball. And I had a lot of black.
Well, we'll come back to that in a moment.
You know, AED, all that.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a moment. But the real thing, though, is that understand, when I was in school, they taught slavery. Although the chapter wasn't nearly as long as it should have been. Today, in Florida, Texas, Tennessee, they have removed slavery from the history books.
Yeah.
This is how diabolical it has happened. So understand how hard it was for people. I'm in my 40s, you're in your 30s. You know how hard it was for us to talk to our peers about that. Now you have white supremacy believes in investing in the future. And now they are investing in making sure that slavery, we're going to be talking about reparations to people who haven't even if you taught somebody that slavery didn't exist, how can you make them an advocate for reparations when they don't even know that slavery existed? So that's why, yes, it's going to be a monumental effort on our part.
That's deep.
But we're going to have to do that. So yes, there's a lot that folk don't know, and if we leave it up to the dominant society, which unfortunately a lot of black people have done, then yeah, that's what's going to happen, is nobody's going to know anything. So we have to take care of it. That's the bad news. The good news is I actually prefer it this way. Let me tell you why. Think about the teachers think about the most affluent school in your area. Think about the most affluent one there. It's going to be mostly white teachers. And you have to ask yourself a question.
Yes, sir.
Do I want to leave teaching my child about black people's experience in America up to their white teachers? Do I really want to leave it up to them? Because I've traveled all over the country, and when you find a Jewish synagogue, especially on the East Coast, anywhere north
Oh
of
my
Virginia,
gosh, dog! I hate this game.
and my folks in Pennsylvania, my folks in New York, my folks up in
Fuck,
Connecticut,
man.
when you find a synagogue, you find a school attached right to it. You see, their church, they set up their churches there and whatnot to be the
Stupid ass game, yo.
culture, and then they use that to move on to the next step, which is
Stressing me
educating
out.
their children. So young Jewish kids don't have to worry about the schools teaching the Holocaust or anything else. They don't have to do that. Their parents don't leave that to chance. They learn the lessons of Nazi stuff. They don't leave it up to the schools to teach anything. They don't leave it up to them to take care of their kids. They don't leave it up to those folks to properly educate their children. They have removed the middleman altogether. And that's
Look at this shit here, bro. Look at this shit, man.
As black people, that's what
ridiculous.
Dr. Anderson taught us. Dr. John Henry Clark. He's talking about HBCUs.
But nobody else shit do that. Why my shit do that?
So our current education infrastructure is completely and wholly inadequate. And nobody else is depending on that. Nobody else is leaving it up to the American school system to educate their children. So I have no problem leaving it to us. The real issue, though, is black people have to take it as their responsibility to educate the society. And the problem is a lot of Negroes have become intellectually lazy. So the only thing they want to be educated about is religion. Because religion is a matter of opinion. They don't want to be educated about something that's fact-based. They want to be educated about something that's opinion-based. And then we sit around arguing and debating about opinion as opposed to discussing facts.
Where, nigga? Yo, play that shit. Play that shit. That's a fact. Hear him. Hear the cap. All these niggas got security. Every one of these niggas got President Pitts. I don't need security. Look. And on the net, nigga, I thought you was a thug. Shot up everywhere they want. I went down for that. I caught the Rico for that.